Let's be honest. Most of us were taught to fear debt, like it's the monster hiding under the bed. Your parents warned you about it, your teachers told you to avoid it, and your bank makes you feel ashamed if you rack it up. Debt is often painted as the villain, the thing that ruins credit, eats up your paycheck with interest, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of financial stress. But here's the part no one in the school system bothered to mention. The rich don't run from debt. The rich hunt debt down, grab it by the collar, and make it work like an obedient employee. That same thing that keeps everyday people up at night, the mortgage, the credit card bill, the loan, is the same tool wealthy people are quietly using behind the scenes to get even richer. You don't need $1 million in the bank. You don't need insider access to a hedge fund opening. And you certainly don't need to be born in America with a trust fund waiting for you. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll see debt in a completely new light. Don't miss the powerful conclusion. If you're eager to build a life of abundance, hit subscribe now. We're committed to sharing proven methods and insights to help you succeed. Let's break down. Number 1. Debt isn't always bad. Your parents told you to stay away from debt. Your teacher made it sound like debt was poison. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That advice keeps people small. Debt by itself isn't good or bad. It's neutral, like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can smash your own hand. Same tool, different outcome. The average person goes into debt to buy things that rust, rot, or quickly lose value. They finance clothes, cars, or vacations. Basically stuff that feels good today but is worthless tomorrow. Meanwhile, the wealthy use borrowed money to buy things that can pay them back. They buy something once and get paid over and over again. Debt is only dangerous when you give it nothing to chew on. Feed it an asset, and it'll reward you. Feed it a liability, and it'll eat you alive. Number 2. Borrow to own, not borrow to owe. If you want to copy what successful people do with borrowed money, remember this formula. Use debt to own, not to owe. The broke version of debt looks like this: taking a loan to cover bills, swiping a credit card to buy the newest gadget, or financing a car you can't comfortably afford. It locks you into owing money every month without any upside. It feels like climbing a hill with a heavy backpack. Now, compare that to how financially savvy people play. They borrow money for ownership. Ownership of things that pay rent, generate sales, spit out monthly profits, or grow in value while they sleep. Let's say someone takes out a $100,000 loan to purchase a small apartment unit. Every month, the tenant's rent covers the loan payment, maintenance, and still leaves money left over. Over time, the borrower gains equity, appreciation, and a side stream of income, all funded with borrowed money. That's the difference between borrowing to drown and borrowing to float higher. This strategy works far beyond property. Some use financing to purchase equipment that produces products for a business. Others borrow to take a controlling share in a small company that delivers consistent revenue. The point is this: if what you borrow buys you control over something that produces, you're winning. If it only buys you something that drains resources, you're sinking. But here's where it gets juicy. The wealthy don't only borrow for ownership. They borrow smartly because they know the secret of spreads. Curious? Let's go there. Number 3. Master the spread game. Here's the truth. Rich people don't obsess over the size of the debt itself. They obsess over the spread. The spread is the difference between what it costs to borrow and what the borrowed money earns. This is how they multiply their wealth. Banks do this every single day. They borrow money from depositors at low interest, then turn around and lend it back out at higher rates. Guess who pockets the difference? Them. The wealthy just copycat the banks by applying the same thinking to their personal portfolio. Because the spread gets even wilder when you throw in something almost nobody talks about, using other people's money altogether. That's where the game reaches another level. Number 4. The power of OPM. 4. Let me give you a phrase the wealthy treat like gospel. OPM. That stands for other people's money. If there's one cheat code to building wealth faster than you ever thought possible, it's this. Rich people rarely put all their own cash on the line. Why would they, when banks, lenders, and investors are practically begging to fund projects that look profitable? Think about the difference between scrimping and scaling. Most everyday people save for years to scrape together $10,000. Then they move slowly, too scared to take a real shot at growth. Meanwhile, an investor uses OPM to grab $100,000 from a lender, builds something profitable, and pays that debt back with part of the profits. The risk feels bigger on the surface, but the reality is the lender is holding more of the worry than they are. And before you think OPM is only for billionaires in suits, look closer. Small business loans, micro investment loans, even simple partnerships fall into the same category. You don't need to aim for skyscrapers, starting an online store, expanding a local side hustle, or buying a small delivery vehicle with borrowed money is playing the OPM game at your own level. Now here's the real twist. Using OPM doesn't just give you more capital. It allows you to multiply opportunities, because instead of waiting for years to save, you move instantly to take control. And once you realize how to borrow without draining your life savings, you'll notice another habit the wealthy swear by: keeping their own money safely working somewhere else at all times. That leads us to the next step. Number 5. Never kill your own cash flow. This one might surprise you. At first glance, it looks like wealthy people waste money financing cars, homes, or even businesses when they clearly could pay outright. Why would someone with millions in the bank choose to finance a $100,000 car? The answer is simple. They value liquidity. Liquidity is having money available on short notice. If you dump all your cash into one asset, your flexibility evaporates. Say you've got $200,000 and you buy a property outright, leaving your savings account bone dry. Great, you own it outright, but now an incredible opportunity pops up. A small business partnership with potential monthly income forever. But you're broke, tied up, locked into an asset you can't quickly trade back into cash. Meanwhile, the investor who kept their $200,000 liquid by financing property has the flexibility to jump into the new deal too. That's why they borrow when they don't have to. They keep borrowing controlled while their cash gets deployed elsewhere, maybe into something throwing out steady monthly checks, or maybe waiting like a loaded spring for the perfect chance to strike. Number 6. Turn debt into multiple streams. Now we're getting into the fun part, where debt stops looking scary and starts looking like a machine. The rich don't use debt for just one channel. They spread it across multiple income streams, so they're never reliant on a single bet. Spreading risk across multiple projects with borrowed money isn't about luck, it's about control. Instead of hoping one big break pays off, you let several smaller channels work at once. A few may flop, but the ones that succeed will more than cover the others. And here's the best part. Once this loop starts, you can recycle the profits back into new opportunities while still holding the debt steady. That's how compounding happens without constantly saving from scratch. Number 7. Structure debt like a system, not a gamble. This is where we separate amateurs from professionals. If you treat debt like a poker table bet, you'll sweat bullets every time repayment shows up. The wealthy avoid this stress by structuring debt into systems that feed themselves. Another trick wealthy players use is staggered cycles. Instead of stacking multiple debts with the same due date, they spread them out or line them up with income streams that come in at specific times. This way, no single repayment feels like a financial chokehold, and the system flows smoothly. This discipline separates calculated leverage from chaotic borrowing. Here is the powerful conclusion you are waiting for. Debt has been painted as a villain for most of your life. You've been warned, lectured, even scared into believing it's something you should run from. And yes, unmanaged debt can bury you. If you see debt only as danger, it owns you. But if you see it as leverage, you own it. That's not theory. That's the blueprint wealthy people live by. I'm dedicated to helping you achieve financial freedom through right knowledge. If this video resonated with you, like it, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more wisdom. Now, if you want to know how to grow your wealth and let it pay your bills forever, then watch this video. I'll see you there.